I identified myself as a cyclist 10 years ago when I met Robbie. But I've been riding a bicycle since I was 5 years old, 6 years old. I walked into the bike shop. I was overweight, I was unhealthy, and I introduced myself and said, I'm looking for a change. Robbie took me under his wing. He made the change. Robbie says there's an Ironman in Panama City. He said, I think you would like that. You should go check it out. So my wife and I, we go to Panama City the next weekend. I watch the Ironman. I come back, and Robbie says, well, I said, you're right. That's me. That's when I found myself again.
I had a tricycle, but the first bike I really remember was blue, of course. I think they were all blue. It had fringe coming out of the handlebars and a banana seat. So the banana seat was the coolest part.
Well, actually, the only bike I really remember was I got a 10-speed bike when I was 9 years old, and it was red. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I haven't thought about that, but the thing I remember about that is the freedom that gave me, and I didn't get that feeling again until obviously turned 16 and then you get a car. But for that was yeah, it's amazing.
My most memorable bicycle was the one I got when I went to college. I hadn't done a lot of biking before that, and I got this basic mountain bike. It was like a light blue color. Her name was Bluebell, and I rode her all over campus and kind of discovered just a big part of my college experience.
How I got into cycling? Well, started off just like every other child. Got your first bicycle and started riding up and down the street, and then bicycle turned into a device for me to deliver newspapers, and always had a bicycle since I was a child.
You know, I grew up learning to ride a bike as a child and rode it, you know, as a family event, and probably started riding a lot more when I went off to college. I used it as transportation around campus and around town, and you know, really enjoyed that. And then I met Robbie, and we've been riding together since then. So.
The biking community is a community of people that they're out expressing themselves, they're out taking the time to make their bodies better. It's been wonderful being around that biking community because everybody's out there for the same purpose.
Love of biking was always there. We lived in a small neighborhood. It was safe. We would all get together as friends. We'd play hide and go seek on the bikes. And it was nice because you could do anything you want, go anywhere you want. You could imagine you were flying if you wanted. I like to go fast. I like the freedom of it. I like the wind. I like how I feel on the bike. And I love how it makes me feel afterwards. It's all around, it's a great sport.
I'm a cycling advocate. I advocate cycling. I've joined local cycling communities. I volunteer to work with new cyclists. I coach cyclists. Everybody in my family owns a bicycle. We ride places that other people drive to. Everything I do involves a bicycle. So it's anything I can do to promote bicycling for people, I do.
Biking to the direct store, which is just a mile and a half from my house, and then going on the group rides made me realize there's a lot of places in Pensacola I could probably bike that I've never biked before. So I've started biking from my house to downtown. It gives me a chance to go down streets I wouldn't normally go down, to get to stop and take pictures of things I wouldn't have normally seen. I have friends that have started biking in the group ride as well, and so we can bike together places. My friend will bike over to my house at 5:15 in the morning, and then we'll bike together to the Trek store, and it's a healthy and fun way to spend our morning. Don't be intimidated to get back into it and do it a different way than you're used to. Tap into a community bike shop and see what they offer, because a lot of it's just education and knowing what's available. They have group rides on Saturdays, they have group rides in the morning and the evenings, so there's usually one that you can find that works for your schedule. and there's going to be people of all levels, so you're not going to be the only one that hasn't biked in 10 years.
Some cold water here and stuff going on in the shop, so come hang out for a bit.
I'm an electrician by trade, and I was laid off, and I went into a local bike shop in town that carried Trek, and talked to the gentleman, and next thing you know, I had a job. And from that point on, I sold Trek and really got to know what Trek was all about, how it's a family-owned company, and to this day it's still family-owned. Everyone that works for Trek you ask them what they like about Trek or why they work for Trek, and the response is typically, I don't want to leave.
We waited long and hard to work with Trek and to open a bicycle store. When we first opened our store, we called it cycle therapy. We thought that was a way to kind of convey to people what we believe bikes can do for them and for the community. And we've been really pleased working with Trek, and we were very pleased when they asked us to consider using their name on our stores. I think a lot of people, they think about tight spandex and going really fast.
And how small the seats are.
And there's so much more to cycling than that. There is a bicycle out there for just any type of riding that you want to do.
People ride a bike for a different reason, and everyone has their own quirks and issues. So if your flexibility isn't that great, you find your hands are going numb. That's where going to a bike shop that we can really help you dial in that fit. If you're comfortable on the bike, it's going to bring back great memories as a child. You remember how much fun it really is, the freedom you get. There's just so many different things that we just take for granted that we really don't see driving. But you're on a bike, you get to experience all your senses.
I ride because I love it. I've ridden a bike all my life. There was a time when I did not have a bike and I missed it. I went to watch my son do a half Ironman, and I saw people of all different ages doing it, and I thought, well, heck, I can do that.
Helping Robbie in the bike store has been great. He often calls on me to inject a little expertise as a registered dietitian. I really enjoy helping people with nutrition. And we do that in a couple of ways. We do offer nutrition supplement products for carrying on a bicycle to replace electrolytes and things like that. But also working with people that maybe have special nutritional questions or needs. Being a registered dietitian kind of puts me in a unique place to give that perspective. And I really enjoy doing that with people in the shop and out. We really want the Trek Bicycle Store to be kind of a hub for a community, to support healthy lifestyles, to support active living.
So Trek also has a program called Project One. And what Project One is, it's a build your own dream in this part. So we can find the type of bike that you're looking for. We can pick the color out. You can put the different wheels, the different color tires. So it's 100% your bike. And we did a bike for the Blue Angels after one of the Blue Angels crashed during an air show a few years back. And Trek was great and did a complete custom job for us to make the bike one of a kind. Well, the services that we provide, we're a full-service bicycle shop. So we work on all types of bikes, everything from three-wheel trikes to complete overhauls to just minor adjustments, and you need a flat repaired, we'll do it on the spot for you.
What sets Trek up from the other shop? People come in, each person is different in their needs. They have a desire to get fit and just trying to find the right bike for that person, where they're going to ride, what kind of riding they want to do. We have quite a few people now that it's kind of interesting, is the 40-somethings are wanting to get back into mountain biking. and they're riding with their kids out there, and it's a lot of fun to see where they're going to go with their bikes.
Well, every type of riding is going to sometimes require a certain type of gear that you're going to need to enhance that cycling experience. So for instance, a beach cruiser, a basket and a bell, and what else do you need? To a road bike, to wear a pair of cycling shorts, a flat repair kit, to headlights and taillights.
We often have women come in that are maybe wanting to get a little bit more in shape or start training for some specific athletic events and haven't been on the bicycle in a while. So there are actually bicycles that are really kind of good for if you're not sure what you want to do on it. We can kind of make it work for you if you decide you want to get a little bit more competitive or not. So something that you can start off with and you can grow with a little bit. Our women's Lexa line is very popular for that. It's a road bike frame designed for the women's physique. Our skeleton anatomy is a little bit different than men's, so the frame geometry is more specific for women, and it's something that you can take from a ride around the neighborhood to a sprint triathlon if you wanted to do something like that. There are a lot of great places to ride here on the Gulf Coast. I mean, we're so fortunate to live in a community where you can really enjoy outdoor activity year-round. The Slow Ride is an event put on by an organization called Bike Pensacola, and first of all, I think it's great that we have organizations like that in Pensacola that support cycling as a community effort and a community movement. And it really does bring a lot of different types of people into cycling and give them exposure to riding in a group and riding around town and maybe riding for transportation or just for fun or for fitness. And again, to try to get people's understanding that there's more to cycling than going fast on a skinny bike wearing spandex. So not that there's anything wrong with that. I think that's great too, but there's just so much more to cycling than the one type of bike that each individual rides.
It's not often you come across somebody that's willing to go way above and beyond. Riding with Robbie has been that way. It's been a lot of fun.
They offer an experience that lets you see, do I want to make biking a part of my life? But even if you don't, that's okay. You get to go out and try it, meet new people, and they want to educate people so that they're biking safely and they're having fun.
The enjoyment about working at a bicycle shop is, one, you get to work with your hands, and two, the stories that you get to hear from people, directly from the heart. Everybody goes through life with certain things, but when they come into the bike shop, you can definitely see the stress is taken off their shoulders, and it's something that they're really passionate about. And being able to have them share that experience with us, it's just a fantastic feeling because it just gives them a little bit more of rejuvenating their life. And we're able to provide them a service that they can hop on their bike and enjoy that. Because everybody has just a small amount of free time these days, and giving them the peace of mind that their bike's in good working condition, they've got a new bike, or being able to just go out on a ride with their kids. It's just a great feeling.